Okay, this is 8.1, all about trig identities. Okay, given cosine x, can we find sine x? Of course we can. Remember, I'm gonna fly through these. Okay, cosine squared plus sine squared is equal to 1, right? X, of course. Okay, طيب, so if you want to find sine given cosine, how do you do? Sine is just going to be equal to radical cosine squared x minus 1, right? Because to remove the square, I moved cosine squared to the right. Okay, is it, huh? Wait. Sorry, 1 minus cosine squared, the other way, not cosine squared minus 1. Because I move cosine to the right, it becomes 1 minus cosine. Okay, anyway, it's okay. And then to remove the square, you just put the radical, right? Okay, so you do this on your nice calculator. Square root 1 minus cosine squared. This is cosine. We need to do cosine squared. هلا I'm gonna move to something and say so let me get the answer. So we get, it's 5 over 13. Radical is 5 over 13, okay? Remember, this has two solutions, plus, minus, right? When you get this answer, please, in the exam, don't directly put 5 over 13. Okay, actually we need to multiply by 26, right? When you multiply by 26, you should get 10. Don't directly put 10. Think شوي, please think. Okay? What is the range they gave us? What is it? It's between 180 and 270. So look at this. Between 180 over here and 270 over here. This quadrant, is sine gonna be positive or negative? Remember, when you do this, when you do square root, you have two solutions, positive and negative. Is it gonna be negative or positive? ليك ما انت, you're in this quadrant here. Isn't this negative? Yes. Do you take positive 10 or negative 10? هلا, you take negative 10. Okay? Immediately, when you see, let's say I didn't give you this. When you see this, cosine x is negative. When is cosine negative? You need to pay attention to these details. Wallah. When is cosine negative? In this quadrant over here and this quadrant over here. So in between 90 and 270, right? All of this here, cosine is negative, right? Because x is negative. Okay? So you need to pay attention. Immediately when you see cosine x is negative, you need to know that's either quadrant 2 or quadrant 3. Okay? Because this is 2, by the way, and this is 3. طيب. Moving on, and I need to point this out now because you will make mistakes. Okay, sometimes they don't say it, sometimes they tell you quadrant 2, sometimes they tell you a domain, which in this case they gave you the domain between 180 and 270. Okay, I remember we solved this. If cosine x is equal to negative root 3 sine x, what is the value of k? When I did this in the last recording, I told you to use a calculator. I divided by shift sign on both sides. Sorry, shift sign. I divided by sine on both sides. No, did I? No, sorry, I divided by cosine on both sides. So this can cancel and you're going to get 1, cosine x is 1. Cosine x over cosine x is just 1, right? 1 is equal to negative root 3. Sine x over cosine x is tan x. Okay, then move this negative root 3 to the other side. You're going to get tan x is equal to negative 1 over root 3. Do this on your calculator, you're going to get a negative answer. Okay, shift tan 1 radians, wait. Please make sure you're on degrees, huh? Shift tan negative 1 over root 3, and you get negative 30. Some joker is going to come and put negative 30 as the answer. Why is that wrong? But father, look at the question, man. They said, look at the domain in between 0 and 180. What do we know about our beautiful trigonometric equations or formulas? We know that sine theta is equal to sine theta minus, 180 minus theta. Right? We know cosine theta is equal to cosine negative theta. Tan theta, however, is equal to tan theta plus 180. Okay, these are, I suggest you memorize them. The school, for some reason, like I told you, doesn't teach you them, but this always works. And they teach this in a university level. Okay, so this will help you moving on. Wallah, and حتى going to grade 12. You need to know this stuff. Okay, I explained it in the unit circle over here in the 7.3 recording. Okay, I told you these two. And then for tan, the tan over here is the same as the tan over here. And what's the difference between them? 180 degrees. Okay, so this can lead you to a generalization over here. Tan theta is equal to tan theta plus 180. 80 degrees. Okay, if you want, you can put this. You can put these, screenshot them, and please know them. Okay, so for any angle, any solution you get for tan, 180 plus that angle will be correct as well. So هلا we do 180 plus negative 30, and you should get 150. Simple as. Can you solve this without a calculator? Yes. The whole point of them giving you the table was so you can kind of think about it without a calculator. Okay, so you can skip this if you want, but in the exam you're probably gonna have a calculator. Okay, I'm just gonna explain it because for the sake of explaining. Okay, if you divide by sine x on both sides, okay, this will cancel. You're gonna get cosine over sine, which is what? Cotan, right? Cosine over sine is cosine. Cotan x is equal to negative root 3, right? Or you know what? Let's keep it in terms of cosine over sine. So we need to see which angle, when you divide it by each other, do you get root 3. Okay, let's just forget about the negative. Over here, cosine here, root 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 2. These over 2's cancel. You're going to be left with root 3. So you get the angle is 30 degrees. Okay, that's for root 3. بس أنا شو بدي negative root 3. Here you can do two things. You can either make it, since it's negative, you can make it negative 30 degrees and then add 180 for the second solution. Or you can do this. Okay, 30 degrees for tan theta. Okay, if you want the negative solution, you just do tan 180 minus that. Okay, this is all just extra information if you want to solve this way. Some people do it this way really, but I suggest you use the calculator method I did at the start. Okay, so you're gonna get tan 180 minus that equals negative tan theta. Sorry, if you want to get the negative of this, you just do 180 minus the angle, so you get 150. Okay, but I don't want to confuse you. We already have too many rules. If I do the calculator method and use this, right? Okay. Question 3. Okay, the root of the equation tan 2a is equal to 2 tan a between minus 90 and 90 degrees is what? Okay, this it's a bit tricky, but you need to know some formula. Okay, if we're going to start, I'm going to put new page. We're going to start with formulas one by one. Okay, I'll start with, we'll say the sum formulas. We know them, so I'm going to fly through them. Okay, sine a plus b, okay, is equal to sine a cosine b. You know what, I'm not going to draw the letters. Okay, I'll draw them in a different color. Plus sine, or you know what, some people they write cosine here first. Okay, sine. Okay, and then sine a. I'm gonna skip to when I drew them. Okay, so let me pause. Okay, I think I'm paused. Yeah, okay. So these are all the formulas for sum that we know till now. Okay, then we now got something called. Okay, we know this from our AMSs. Okay, we now have something called the double angle. Okay, and there's the identities. I won't write the identities. Cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1 plus tan squared equals secant squared, and 1 plus cotan squared is equal to cosecant squared. Okay, I won't write those down. They're pretty self-explanatory. Okay, there's something called the double angle formulas. Okay, the double angle. Okay, it basically comes from. It basically. What is this equal to? Sine 2 theta. Okay, instead of whatever. Let's call. Let's just keep it as in terms of theta. Let's feel like it's more math. Okay, and tan 2 theta. Okay, so someone's gonna come and say, okay, well, what's the formula? Can't you find it? Isn't 2 theta just theta plus theta, right? So can't you just use this rule over here, right? So if you use this rule, you're gonna get sine a cosine b. So sine theta cosine theta plus cosine theta sine theta. And these are the same thing, right? It's just rearranged. So you can just say it's equal to 2 sine theta cosine theta. Okay, you can memorize this if you want. Okay, and for me, I don't like memorizing. I just memorize this one and plug it in the exam. Okay, but sometimes you get the hang of it. You keep on solving. You say like, okay, you're used to it. You know what it is. Cosine 2 theta, same thing. 2 theta is just theta plus theta. So substitute theta plus theta here. You're gonna get cosine theta cosine theta. Right? Substitute theta plus theta into this one here. Minus sine theta sine theta. Now this one's interesting because cosine theta is the same as cosine squared theta. And sine theta is same as sine squared theta. Why is this important? You're going to see later. Because later on when you grow up, when you grow up, I'm saying that. Later on, in 1 or 2 chapters, maybe in grade 12 hatta. I'm gonna come back to this, okay? You're gonna play around with this, you're gonna need this. Tan to theta, I'll do tan to theta so we can finish. Remember again, use theta plus theta and just substitute it here, okay? So it's gonna be tan theta plus tan theta over 1 minus tan theta times tan theta. Fix it up. Tan theta plus tan theta is 2 tan theta. Tan theta is tan squared theta. You tell me you're gonna tell me what do you mean you're gonna come back to this? Look here. Cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta, and it's not really required. Okay, but maybe you do it, I don't know. Maybe you might need it in the exam. What is cosine squared? Isn't cosine squared 1 minus sine squared theta? Right? Okay, and then continue writing minus sine squared theta. So you can actually rewrite it in terms of, what's this? What's 1 minus sine squared? Minus sine squared is the same as 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. So this is the first way to write it. I'll write them above each other. Okay, this is the general one. You need this as well. How about sine squared theta? Isn't it the same as 1 minus cosine squared? Yes. So you can rewrite this as cosine squared minus 1 minus cosine squared theta, right? Okay, and this is the same as saying minus becomes plus. So it becomes 2 cosine squared theta minus 1. Okay, so these are the 3 methods to write cosine to theta. You're going to tell me, why is this important? Because look, when doing integrals, this is just an extra information. When doing integrals, you can't do this. Okay, you can't do this. Maybe you can set it to u and call it u squared. Okay, and that's completely fine. But actually, no, you can't use u substitution. So if you do this here, you want to integrate this. And I'm pretty sure you did it in class, so you did one exercise. You're not allowed to work with cosine squared or sine squared. So this cosine squared theta, using the 2 cosine squared theta minus 1 is equal to cosine 2 theta, you can actually remove the square. How? We know that cosine squared theta is just equal to, if you rearrange this equation, it's equal to 1 over 2 cosine 2 theta plus 1. You see? So you can actually eliminate this. I don't know why I'm getting off track, but math is nice, guys. Math is nice. Okay, everything is linked with the other. Anyways, so you can screenshot this if you want. But there's gonna be more. Don't worry. There's gonna be more. Let me actually erase this. Or maybe some people, I don't know, do I erase this? خلاص, I'll move this over here so it fits in one page. Okay, move this down. Okay, move these over here. Over here. Okay, هيك. طيب. Let's continue. Solve question now. Here they're saying tan 2a is equal to 2 tan a. What is tan 2a? From the formulas, tan 2a is 2 tan a over 1 minus tan squared a. They're saying it's equal to 2 tan a. طيب. Okay, what can you do? How do you solve this equation? You need to use some math here. طيب. 2 tan a over 1 minus tan squared a equals 2 tan a. What do you do here? You can cancel this 2 tan a with this 2 tan a. How do you do this? Remember, I always tell you guys, if you have an equation a over b is equal to c, you can swap these two and make it a over c is equal to b. Right? This is just a trick to help you solve an equation. Or you can say, 2 tan a divided by something gets me 2 tan a. And what divided by, what is the number what's the number when you divide by it, you get the same number? Obviously 1, right? So you can solve it in this way. You can say that, so since I'm dividing 2 tan a by something and still getting 2 tan a, that means that something I'm dividing by is equal to 1. And you can solve this equation and you'll get 0. Or you can do it like this, which is way easier, more professional, more mathematical, okay? Tan squared a. Swap these two, right? You're going to get 2 tan a over 2 tan a is equal to 1 minus tan squared a. Pach, cancel. You get 1 is equal to 1 minus tan squared a. 1 with 1, like you just move to the other side, you get 0. So you get negative tan squared a is equal to 0. Cancel the negative on both sides. You get tan squared a is equal to 0. So you can just do, when you have something equals to 0, like a square, you can just solve for one of them. So you get tan a is equal to 0, or square root both sides. You know what, actually? So you can understand better. Square root both sides. Square root of 0 is just 0. There's no plus minus. It's just 0. So you get tan a is equal to 0. Do shift tan on your calculator, shift tan 0, and you get a is equal to 0. So easy. Okay? One thing you need to be aware of is this domain here. You got that a is equal to 0. Type. What if they change the domain from, I don't know, let's say 90 and 180 degrees? Will the 0 degrees work now? No, of course it won't. Why not? Because it's not in the domain. So what did I tell you for tan? Every solution, what do you do to change the solution to another solution? I told you tan, you always add 180 for the second solution. So if they said between 90 and 180, your solution would be 180. Okay? But they didn't. They said between negative 90 and 90. Very, very chill. Yani, wallah, it's just formulas, and I'm taking my time explaining formulas. Okay. 6 minus 4 sine squared x equals 5. This is very simple. You can take the 6 to the, or well, what can you do here? Yeah, you can take the 5 here and take the sine squared there. So you get 6 minus 5 is equal to 4 sine squared x. Okay, so you're going to get 1 is equal to 4 sine squared x. Very nice, very easy to solve. Divide by 4, you're going to get sine squared x is equal to 1 over 4. Type. When you do radical now, you need to consider plus minus. Why? Because look, they said between 0 and 360. They didn't give you a specific quadrant, but you can solve for any quadrant. Okay? So you need to solve for both positive and negative. If they don't specify a quadrant, if they tell you the domain between 0 and 360, you need to remember that the radical, it has plus and minus. Okay? So we're going to split this up. We're going to say first sine x is equal to 1 over 4. 1 over 2. Because radical 1 over 4 is 1 over 2. Do it on a calculator. And the second one is for the negative root. Okay. When you do shift sign here, you're going to get one solution is 30 degrees. And you're going to get the other solution is 150 degrees. I'm not going to write 150 degrees. I'm going to keep it empty. Okay. I'm going to just work with what the calculator gives you. And when you do shift sign here, you get negative 30 degrees. Like, always, what's the second solution for sine? 180 minus that angle, right? So you get 150. So here 180 minus 30, and you get 210 degrees. Type. Always, our solutions, whenever we're between 0 and 360, or any in general, always, any solution you get, you always put plus 360k, right? But why do we ignore it? Why do we always ignore it? Because if you add 30 plus 360, you're going to go above the domain. You're going to get 390. You're going to be outside of the domain, right? But whenever you have a negative number, every time you see a negative, that's when it should click for you. You should be like, shit, I need to add 360k. So you need to try. If you add 360, and obviously it will. If you add 360k, you're going to get 330 degrees. Why am I doing this? Because this negative 30 isn't in the domain. But I still have 4 solutions. So I need to like lock in and think, oh, what would my fourth solution be? Okay, so you're going to get 30 degrees, 150 degrees, 330 degrees, and 210 degrees. Okay. Question 5. Given that x equals 2 is a solution of the equation this, to the nearest degree, what is this? Okay, so basically just change it all. Can you solve cubics? Do we know how to solve cubics? For your level, you don't know how to solve cubics. Okay? But we know x equals 2 is a solution. So what does that mean? You can divide by x minus 2. If it's a solution, and you can take it out, right? We can reduce it to a quadratic by dividing by the solution. So you can use either what was called long division, or you can do synthetic division, whatever you prefer. And always when it's a quick one like x equals 2, I use synthetic division because it's way faster for me. Okay, I'm not gonna do long division. You should know how to do it if you want, but I like doing this. You list always all the coefficients. But what do they do in the exam? بيخبوا لك x square, right? So do you skip the coefficient of it? No, you have to put 0, right? If they removed it. So let's do it. Put your 2 down, or always take your 1 down. 1 times 2, 2. And negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 times 2, 2. Negative 14 plus 2, negative 12. Negative 12 times 2, negative 24. And obviously these should, if you don't get 0 at the end, you're doing something wrong, because it's a solution, for you should get 0 as your remainder. it was a cube. هلا what's gonna be when you reduce it is gonna be a square. So it's gonna be x squared, 1x squared, but I'm not gonna write 1x squared, plus 1x, so you can just write x minus 12. So this is what you get now. Okay, so they're saying replace it with tan, so you get tan squared x plus tan x minus 12. Okay, they want it to be equal to 0 and solve. Okay, so do I prefer you to solve like this? I never do. Okay, it's the same as just solving this. Okay, so what do? And when I get this, I always solve the quadratic. I factor it normally. Okay, I get its solutions and then just replace it with tan. Okay, so if you solve this, you can do mod 5 3, you can do whatever you want, but it's pretty obvious if you factor this, which numbers multiply to get 12, but when you subtract them you get 1, 4 and 3, right? So you can factor it and get this, or you can just find its solutions عادي. So you get what? Two solutions. You get x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to 3. طب نحن what do we know? We're substituting x with what? Tan. So tan x is equal to negative 4 and tan x is equal to 3. طب هون do shift tan, what do you get? Okay, please pay attention to the domain between 0 and 180, yeah? Because I'm pretty sure you should get a negative answer here. Yeah, you get a negative answer. Type, what do we do with tan? What do we always do? One solution is going to be, let's round this up to the nearest degree, we'll make it negative 76, okay? Negative 76 degrees. Okay, I'll just solve. Okay, before adding 180 and whatever, let's see what the calculator gives us. For shift tan 3, you should get a positive answer now. 72, okay? 72 degrees. Type, now for tan, what do we always do? We always add 180 degrees, right? نحن اتفقنا for tan, the second solution you always do plus 180. So 180, negative 76 plus 180. Let's do it. 104. Hey, the 72, if you add 180 هلا, it's going to be outside of the domain, okay? See, it's going to be outside of the domain because it's going to be above 180. If you do plus 360k for negative 76, it's also going to be outside the domain. For someone's going to come and say, طب where is the third solution coming from? Index 72, 104. Where is the 63 coming from? Don't forget, they said x equals 2 is a solution. Okay, so you should solve also what? Tan x is equal to 2. But let's do shift tan 2. And you get 63 degrees. Simple as. Question 6. The roots of the equation. What was this? The roots of the equation sine to x cosine 4x minus cosine to x sine 4x. Okay, so this looks like a bit of a, someone's gonna read this game saying, what am I looking at, man? What is this, man? What? And I don't blame you, wallah, I don't blame you. We've all been there before, especially with math. But once you get to understand it, it's all nice, wallah. Okay. Can you ever solve any equation when you have sine and cosine at the same time? Of course not, right? So I want to change this. I want to manipulate this equation to get at least sine by itself or cosine on its own. So what does this formula look like? If you want my advice, as soon as you enter the exam, write all of these down, okay? Obviously don't write all this. Just write tan to theta is equal to this, cosine to theta is equal to this, sine to theta is equal to this, okay? And these ones here, okay? What's this? When do you have sine, cosine, sine? And realize here, let's say, call A as 2x and call B as 4x. Isn't this sine A cosine B and then cosine A sine B? What is this? What هاي الفورمولا عبارة عن شو? What does this remind you of? This is actually what? Sine A plus B or minus B? We don't know. But if you look at the sign here, it's a minus. That's it. For sine A minus B. And what's our A? What's our B? You can call it 2x is your A, and yeah, so A, sorry, I don't want to cut off. A is 2x and B is 4x, so it's just gonna be sine 2x minus 4x, right? Is equal to negative root 3 over 2. You have two ways to solve this, okay? This is gonna become sine negative 2x is equal to negative root 3 over 2. You can take this negative out. For sine, this is a rule for sine, because look, if you look at the unit circle previous, sine of the negative angle is equal to negative of the positive angle. So you in sine, only in sine, okay, only in sine, you're allowed to take this negative out, okay, and solve like this. You can do this. This is completely fine. Some people do shift sine and then divide by negative 2. That's completely fine. But I think this should be a bit easier. It's going to make our solving process a bit easier. Okay, so you're going to get sine to x is cancel the minus root 3 over 2. Take your calculator. We're supposed to get be careful, huh? 4 solutions. Sine 2x is equal to root 3 over 2. فيو do shift sine شو root 3 over 2. First solution. يلا. Okay, we're gonna get, remember, 2x is equal to 60, not x equals 60. Okay, so we're gonna get first thing 2x is equal to 60. What do we do with this 2x equals 60? Now, what do we know about it? We know that for sine, the second solution is always 180 minus. So you can tell me, Walid, why don't you do x is equal to 30 and then do 180 minus 30? No, never. You're not allowed. You always solve 2x equals. If they put 3x, you put 3x equals the last step. After you get all your solution set, then when you divide by 2. Okay? You're not allowed because your whole angle here is 2x. Okay? So we got 2 solutions here. And let's solve them, to make our life a bit easier. You get 30 and you get 120 divided by 2, 60. Okay, so we got 2 of our 3 solutions. So we're missing 2 more solutions. Okay, be careful. Our domain is between 180 and negative 180. So what you can do here, okay, to get these 2 solutions, actually, the way I first solved, I got them, but I did a different way. I didn't do what I did here. I actually solved with negative 2x, but then it would have been hard for me to get the fourth solution. So بدها شوية ذكاء. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, it needs a bit of concentration. Remember, we got these 2 solutions, right? Over here. Right? These 2. Okay, what do we always put? Plus 360k. Always. طب وليد, if you add 360, you're gonna go outside of the domain. Okay, مظبوط. Okay, I understand. But don't remember you have a negative domain back command. So it kind of looks like this. So you're dealing with 180, which is over here, and negative 1. يعني, how can I say this? You're dealing with from 0 to 180 and from 0 to negative 180. So you're dealing with pretty much everything. Okay? But that's still not an excuse. Always, I tell you, do plus 360k. To be content, you're gonna go outside the relax. K doesn't necessarily have to be a positive number. It can be negative 1 كمان. What do you mean? Look, when you're here, okay, when we say k is equal to 1, that means you did 1 rotation like this, right? So let's say k is equal to negative 1. K is equal to negative 1. That means you did 1 rotation like this now, clockwise. Okay, so it makes a difference. If you don't see the difference, watch back and see in the direction I rotated the first time. So in my previous questions, when I'd use k, like مثلا over, I don't know, here, no, not here. Question 4, when I'd use k, I wouldn't use k is equal to negative 1 because, I don't have any domain in the negative side, okay? So when using k, you pay attention. When you do k, check k equals negative 1, check k is equal to 1. Look at the domain. Will it go outside of the domain if I do k equals negative 1 or k equals 1? Okay? So here, you get your solution. Always put plus 360k. Let's try. If we go k equals negative 1, you're going to get 2x is equal to negative 300. Okay? And here, if you do k is equal to negative 1 also, you're going to get 2x is equal to negative 240. So you have these 2 now. Someone's gonna come so smart. He's gonna tell me, طب negative 300 is outside of the domain يا وليد, and negative 240 is outside of the domain. حبيبي, I know. فيها 2x because I'm gonna divide by 2. So when you divide by 2, you're gonna get negative 150 and negative 120. Very easy. Okay, so heck, I got my solutions. It's a bit tricky, completely understandable, wallah. But you need to be patient with these questions, wallah. Okay? Try and remember every single rule you were taught. Plus 360k, always plus 360k. We have more questions, you're gonna see any. Okay? Question 7. Which is true? Does sine squared equal cosine squared minus 1? No, obviously not. Secant squared is equal to 1 plus tan squared? Yes. Tan a plus b is 1? No, this is definitely wrong. Tan a plus... I'm not even gonna say. Listen, I'm gonna show you these. Okay? And then you can work it out yourself. Okay? Sine 3x plus 4y is equal to sine 3x cosine 4y plus cosine 3x sine 4y, of course. Cosine 3x minus 4y is equal to sine cosine. No. When it's cosine, it's always cosine, sine. Okay? Question 8. Okay. For this question here, I need to show you 3 new rules. Okay? from deriving from these two, these sum ones. Okay, so let's say you have sine a plus b plus sine a minus b. What would this be equal to? Okay, this isn't the rule, but just so you can understand. If you add these two, sine a cosine b plus sine a cosine b is 2 sine a cosine b. And then cosine a sine b plus minus cosine a sine b. Because I'm just adding these two. So this plus this gets me 2 of it, right? And then this plus this, it's plus this minus this, right? So don't they just cancel out? Yes. Okay, so you get this. For this leads to a formula. Sine a cosine b is equal to half sine a plus b plus sine a minus b. This is your first one. But how about cosine a plus b plus cosine a minus b? Let's see, what do we get when we do it? Plus cosine a minus b. Let's take a look. Cosine a plus b plus cosine a minus b. So add these two. Cosine a cosine b, cosine a cosine b. When you add them, you get what? 2 cosine a cosine b. And obviously these two cancel out. Okay? So what does this mean? If you divide by 2 on both sides, it leads to a formula. Cosine a cosine b is equal to half cosine a plus b plus cosine a minus b. Okay? The last one is when you get sine a sine b. Okay? This is the last one. It looks like this. Cosine a minus a cosine a plus b. Okay? It can be written like this. Okay? Sine a, 2 sine a, sine b. Because when you do this, cosine a minus b minus cosine a plus b, this will cancel with this. Then this minus this will get you 2 of it, right? Yeah? Okay, so you're gonna get, when you divide by 2, it leads to a formula. Sine a sine b is equal to half cosine a minus b minus cosine a plus b. Other people write it like this. They take this negative out and they do this. They write it like this. They say sine a sine b is equal to negative 1 over 2 cosine a plus b minus cosine a minus b. These are the same thing. So I just took a negative outside. Okay? Anyways, that being said, do I memorize these? Personally, I don't. I do them in the exam. Okay? Do I suggest you to memorize them? Yes, of course. Okay? Because you're going to need it for questions like this. But do you see questions that really require this really in math? Honestly, no. These formulas are kind of like, they're like, you know what I mean? But these are the main ones. These you'll use them definitely in the future. But anyways, this you need to know. They're called half angle. No, half angle is this one over here that I did earlier. Anyways, over here, when we have sine, what does that mean? What's the rule we have for sine? It's sine a sine b is equal to half cosine a minus b minus cosine a plus b. Okay, so let's take a look at our a and b. Our a is 3x, our b is 6x. Okay, so 3x minus 6x would be what? Why am I bugging? Yeah, 3x minus 6x would be you know what? You can call this. Let's call this one a. Call this one b. You don't have to take the smaller one as a, by the way. For this one, let's just call the bigger one a. It doesn't matter, okay? So 6x minus 3x will be 3x. Okay, that's correct. And then 6x plus 3x is 9x, which is correct, right? So I'm just checking. A minus b, so 6x minus 3x. Is it 3x like it's written here? Yes. Then a plus b, so 6x plus 3x, 9x. It doesn't necessarily have to be the one first to be a, okay? Let's check this one. We know this is the formula for sine. So when you do 6x minus 3x, but without even looking at 6x and 3x, do we have sine? No, alright, so it's wrong. We can't, definitely. Sine, cosine. What's wrong here? They put a plus b first, and then they put a minus b. To do this, you're going to have to put negative half outside, like I wrote in the formula here. If you want to do a plus b first, then a minus b, then you have to take out the negative. You put the negative outside, but there's no negative outside, so it's wrong. Okay, cosine 2x plus cosine 8x is equal to 2 cosine 5x cosine 3x. Okay, so I expanded them both and I was like, what am I doing? Okay. If you can realize the 5 and 3, if you call this a and call this b, a plus b is 8x. A minus b is 2x. So aren't we just doing cosine a minus b plus cosine a plus b? Yes, right? Okay, and I told you for this, it's just 2 cosine a cosine b. I wrote it here. Cosine a plus b plus the order doesn't matter. Addition is commutative, you know this. Okay, so obviously this is gonna be correct. Okay, since you're doing cosine a minus b plus cosine a plus b, it's equal to cosine a cosine b. 2 cosine a cosine b. I wrote it here, huh? Okay. Okay, then over here, cosine 2x plus cosine 8x is equal to 2 sine 5x sine 3x. No. Right? When you do cosine a plus, minus b plus cosine a plus b, it's supposed to be cosine a cosine 2 cosine a cosine b. And then over here, negative 2 cosine was why? No, definitely not. Right? It has to be matched this. Question 9. Given that sine a is 1 over root 5, where a is an acute angle. Acute means it's in quadrant 1, huh? Okay? And cosine b is not quadrant 1. It means the angle is less than 90 degrees. Okay? And cosine b is negative 1 over 10, where b is an obtuse angle. What is tan a minus b? طيب نحن we need to know tan a minus b is equal to tan a minus tan b over 1 plus tan a tan b. Type. Knowing sine of a, can I find tan a? Of course I can. You can find cosine a and then do sine over cosine, or you can do 1 plus tan squared is equal to secant squared. Okay, and secant squared is what? 1 over cosine squared. Okay, and you know that 1 plus cotan squared is equal to cosecant squared. So you can use these two formulas, or you can find cosine. Like really, it doesn't matter. انت عزوك. Okay, for sine a, I'm gonna use 1 plus cotan squared is equal to cosecant squared. Okay, so let's substitute. So 1 plus cotan squared is equal to 1 over cosecant squared. You know, is 1 over sine. Cosecant is 1 over sine. So cosecant squared would just be 1 over sine squared. So 1 over root 5 squared. Let's take this minus 1 to the other side. Okay, it's a bit annoying. Let's see. So remember, let's first find this, and then when we get to square root, I'll mention it. Okay, so the denominator has 2 here. So 1 over root 5. هيدي هون في 1. اوكي بتطلع برا بتحط هيدي هون. Okay, square minus 1. Okay, تحط 4. Okay, so you get cotan square is equal to 4. طيب, when you do square root هلا, you're gonna get cotan is equal to root 4, which is 2. Do I take positive or negative square root? It's an acute angle. So you're over here. And tan over here is positive, right? Why is it positive? Because x is positive. And y is positive. When both cosine and sine are positive, then يعني sine over cosine will also be positive. In quadrant 1, tan is positive. Okay? طيب, so that means cotan is equal to 2. What is tan equal to? Cotan is 1 over tan, right? So if 1 over tan is equal to 2, then tan is equal to 1 over 2. So I just found tan A, it's 1 over 2. طيب, هلا cosine B, let's see. 1 plus, هلا not cotan anymore, 1 plus tan squared is equal to secant squared. So you're going to do 1 plus tan squared. Let's just take the 1 to the other side. You're going to get tan squared is equal to secant squared minus 1. So 1 over cosine squared minus 1. طيب, let's do it. So tan squared is equal to 1 over... wait, I just realized أنا over here cotan squared equals 1. Why did I square the whole thing? أكيد that's wrong, huh? I should square the... Sorry. Cosecant squared is 1 over sine squared. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter, huh? So 1 over root 5. Because 1 squared is just... 1 squared is just 1. It won't make a difference. Okay, so 1 over cosine squared. So negative 1 over root 10 squared minus 1. Let's do it on our calculator. go 1 over هون fraction تاني no I put it in brackets negative 1 over root 10 كله هيدا all of this squared وبتحط بعدين minus 1. Okay, so you get tan squared is tan is equal to tan squared is equal to 9. So tan is going to be equal to root 9 negative root 9, which is negative 3. Why is it negative root 9? For B, tan B, it's an obtuse angle. Obtuse means you're over here. Between obtuse means theta belongs to 90, 180 degrees. Okay? That's what obtuse means, between 90 and 180. طيب, and what's here? Tan is obviously negative. Why is it negative, ya shabab? Because your x in this case is negative. Your sine, it's positive. But you know that tan is sine over cosine. So positive over negative is what? Negative. Okay, so you're going to take the negative root. Okay, hella, you know tan A, you know tan B. Can we apply our formula over here? Yes, of course we can. Tan A, I'll use it as 0.5. Minus tan B, which is minus 3, over 1 plus tan A plus tan B. So 1 plus 0.5 times negative 3. You get negative 7. Question 10. Given tan A is half, okay, using the given trigonometric ratio of 45 degrees, one can show that tan A minus 45 degrees is equal to minus 1 over k, where k is equal to what? So this looks way more complicated than it is. Just what is tan A minus 45? It's tan A minus tan 45 over 1 plus tan A tan 45. We need to see what's this equal to. Substitute. Very, very easy. Wallah. Okay. Tan A is given half. Minus tan 45. Just do it on your calculator. Tan 45, huh? Which is 1. Either way, it's 1 if you want to know it. Plus tan A 0.5 times tan 45. And you get, oh, I need to put the bracket. Negative 1 over 3. So k is what? 3. Very easy. Using part A, one can deduce that cotan A plus 135 is what? Okay, this took me a second to figure it out. But now we know tan of theta is equal to tan of 180 plus theta. طيب انت look at this, 135 and minus 45. What about them? What about them? Isn't 135 equal to 180 plus negative 45? Yes. Okay, so these two are the same. So tan of A minus 45 is equal to tan of A plus 135, which is, we found as negative 1 over 3. But why is it negative 3? Because you're saying cotan. So what's cotan? Cotan is equal to 1 over tan. So it's going to be 1 over negative 1 over 3, which is just negative 3. Okay? Really, these questions are not that ugly, صراحة. I like them. Question 11. Given that sine A is root 3 over 3, cosine A is root 6 over 3, using the given trigonometric ratio of 60 degrees, one can show that cosine A plus 60 is what? Okay, guys, let's just do this fast. Cosine A plus B, so cosine A, cosine 60. I'm not gonna write the formula, okay? You should have it screenshotted at this point or known or memorized. Minus sine A, sine 60. Really, you just substitute these. Cosine A is root 6 over 3. Root 6 over 3, I'll be a bit quicker with it, times cosine 60, which is, you can just put it on your calculator, which is 0.5, minus sine A, which is root 3 over 3, times sine 60. You get minus 3 plus root 6 over 6, okay? Which is the same as this, okay? You can just take the minus 3 to the side. This is going to become root 6 minus 3 over 6, okay, is equal to 6. Okay, for part B, someone's gonna say, oh, for the last question, it's the same pattern. That means they're equal, you just do 1 over. No. From here to here, what happened? Secant A plus 240. Secant is 1 over cosine. Let's just treat it as cosine for now. We'll do 1 over later. You have cosine A plus 60, and then you have now, let's say, 1 over cosine A plus 240. What did you do? You added 180 degrees. Type, someone's going to tell me, oh, they're equal. No, Habibi, we're working with cosine, not tan anymore. What do we know? Cosine theta is equal to cosine of negative theta, right? Type, How about cosine theta? When you do cosine theta plus 180, what's the relationship between them? It's actually negative. Okay? You're gonna tell me why, but I'll prove it for you in the unit circle, okay? Over here, cosine theta, okay? Add 180 degrees, you're over here. What does it become? Negative cosine theta, okay? So this can lead to a generalization that cosine theta is equal to negative cosine theta plus 180, okay? Unit circle will help you memorize, really, it will help you understand, okay? But this is the rule. So over here, what's the relationship between these two? They're negative, okay? So cosine A plus 60 is equal to negative cosine A plus 240 degrees, okay? طيب I want secant, so I want 1 over cosine A plus 240, right? طب first let me find what is cosine A plus 240. We said cosine A plus 240 is negative cosine A plus 60, right? So it's gonna be sorry, let me write this in a better way. Secant A plus 240 is 1 over cosine A plus 240. Okay, ونحن اتفقنا 1 over cosine A plus 240 اتفقنا it's negative cosine A plus 60. Okay, I just want to write this all in one يعني stroke, not stroke, يعني whatever. I want to write it all in one, so I just put it all in one time in the calculator. Okay, so negative cosine A plus 60, we said it's this, right? So let's put a fraction over 6, close it, you get 6 plus 2 radical 6. Whoa. This is correct, but the calculator gives it to you in rationalized form. Let me show you how to do it. Wait. So look, until you get this, but don't panic. This is correct, but I don't know why they gave it to you in and they don't want you to rationalize it. Okay, you have to do this manually. 1 over this. When you do 1 over something, you bring the denominator up, right? So you're gonna get 6 over negative root 6 minus 3. Okay, بس هنا they didn't put the negative, so you're gonna take this negative up. Okay, negative 6 over root 6 minus. L is gonna be negative 6. Okay, very easy. It's not that hard. Question 12. Same thing. They give you sine A cosine A. They're saying sine A plus 45. So it's gonna be sine A cosine 45 plus sine, or let me do it the way I wrote it in the formula. Cosine A sine 45. So it's gonna be this on your calculator. Sine A, we said root 3 over 3, given in the question. Root 3 over 3 times cosine 45 plus cosine A, which is root 6 over 3 times sine 45. You get this, okay? Someone's gonna say, Walid, it's not the same. My 2 root 3 is root 12 if you take the 2 back inside. بس احنا ما بيهمنا بيهمنا ال k, and the k is 6. Okay, for part B now, same thing. Cosecant is just 1 over sine, okay? But what happened here? We added 180 degrees, right? When you add 180 degrees for sine, what happens? You need to know sine theta is equal to negative sine theta plus 180. Okay, you need to know this. If you don't know, go to the unit circle, draw this, add 180 degrees, you go down. So that means sine becomes negative. Okay, so this is the rule. So that means sine A plus 225 is equal to negative sine A plus 45. Okay, so it's equal to negative root 6 plus root 12 over 6. I assume if you do it on a calculator, you're not going to get this. Because often the calculator will never give you a radical in the denominator. So you have to do this manually. نحن اتفقنا cosecant, so you have to do 1 over sine. So now we have to do 1 over this. Okay, so 1 over negative root 6 plus root 12 over 6. The denominator always goes up, right? So it's become 6 over negative root 6 plus root 12. Okay, but they kept the denominator positive. I take the negative up with it. Okay, so it's going to be negative 6 over root 6 plus root 12. Okay, so m is negative 6. question 13. Given sine theta is equal to 2 cosine theta, then round to the nearest integer, theta is equal to what? You can divide by cosine on both sides, and this is not hard at all. Let me erase. If you divide by cosine theta on both sides, these cancel, so you're gonna get tan theta is equal to 2, then do shift tan. Really, it's like a free mark. 63 degrees, huh? Question 14. Tan 4 plus tan squared is equal to... Oh, let me see this. Okay, you need to prove trigonometric identity, okay? It's a bit tough, okay? But you need to start with this. You need to end with secant, okay? Let's see. How do you relate tan to secant? You know that 1 plus tan squared theta is equal to secant squared theta, okay? So tan squared actually is equal to secant squared minus 1. So we can actually replace this with secant squared minus 1. So how about this? Tan to the power 4 is actually just what? Isn't it tan squared squared, right? So you can actually replace this tan to the power 4 with tan squared squared, okay? And tan squared theta, we said, is secant squared minus 1 squared, right? So we can replace this with secant squared minus 1 squared plus secant squared theta minus 1. Top, can you expand this? What's a minus b squared? A squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So secant squared squared, so it's going to be a squared, right? So I'm just going to write it step by step. Minus 2ab, so 2 times secant squared times 1 plus b squared, which is 1, plus secant squared. Okay, we're trying to get rid of everything. So this is what? Secant to the power 4, right? Minus this one, we don't care. So minus 2 secant squared theta plus 1 secant squared theta plus 1 plus secant squared theta minus 1. Okay, I'm just simplifying this a bit. I don't know why my handwriting is like this. 1 with 1. Minus 2 secant squared theta plus secant squared theta becomes minus secant squared theta, right? So secant to the power 4 theta. Minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1 secant squared theta. Bam. Okay, done. Okay, question 15. Given an angle theta in the second quadrant such that tan theta is equal to negative 2, then cosine theta is something and sine theta is equal to something. Right. Okay, it's very easy. Tan theta, how can you relate it to cosine and sine? You can do shift tan, whatever, I don't care. But I'm going to teach you the proper way to do it. Okay? How do you relate tan to cosine? 1 plus tan squared is equal to secant squared theta. Okay? طيب. Let's see here. I know tan. Can I find secant squared? Secant, why am I relating secant to cosine? Because secant is just 1 over cosine. Okay? For secant squared, it's just going to be equal to 1 plus tan squared. Let's do 1 plus 4 is equal to secant squared theta. Okay, why 4? Because negative 2 squared, huh? Okay, so you're going to get secant squared theta is equal to 5. Type, here they're saying second quadrant. Second quadrant is over here. Quadrant 2, right? Is cosine, I'm going to take the square root now. Secant is going to be either plus minus root 5. But now I need to know if it's negative or positive. I'm in quadrant 2. Is x negative or positive here? Cosine. It's negative, right? So I'm going to take the negative root. So it's negative root 5. So أنا بدي cosine, right? Cosine is just going to be 1 over secant theta. So it's going to be, sorry, no. Well, it is, but let me tell you why. Secant theta is equal to 1 over cosine theta. So cosine theta will just be 1 over secant theta. So 1 over secant theta, right? Cosine theta will just be, swap it. It's going to be 1 over secant theta. So 1 over negative root 5. This is cosine. So k is negative 1. Because you didn't put the negative here. You have to put it. Okay? How about sine? We know 1 plus cotan squared theta is equal to cosecant squared theta. Okay? Let's do 1 plus cotan squared. So 1 over... Cotan is 1 over tan, right? Right? Is equal to cosecant squared theta. Type. Let's continue. 1 plus 1 over 4. Why 1 over 4? Because negative 2 squared is 4. So 1 over 4 is equal to cosecant squared theta. So you're going to get that cosecant squared theta is equal to 1 plus 1 over 4 is 5 over 4. Okay, so you're going to get cosecant theta is equal to plus minus root 5 over 4. Okay, you're going to get root 5 over 2 or something like this. Are you going to take the positive or negative square root? You're in quadrant 2. Here is sign positive or negative. Y is going to be positive, so sign is positive, right? So you're going to get that cosecant theta is equal to root 5 over 4. Let's keep it like this for now. Okay. Now we want sine. And sine we know is 1 over... we want sine. We have cosecant. Cosecant is 1 over sine theta. Right? So how do you find sine theta? Just swap. So sine theta will be 1 over cosecant theta. So it's going to be 1 over root 5 over 4. So you're going to root the roots for everything. Huh? So now you're going to flip it. It's going to become root 4 over root 5. You can do this on a calculator عادي. But the calculator will not give you this. That's why you have to do it manually. Okay? So you're going to get this. Are you going to put root 4 as m? No. Root 4 is just 2. So 2 over root 5. That is what m is. We finished 8.1. Thank you so much for watching and good luck.